Yeah, it's interesting because I consider myself to be like a zillennial because I was born in '96, so it's like right in the middle there.
Listen, we're the
And
same age. I absolutely
okay,
feel that. And I am so trying to distance myself from millennials. Gen Z is where it's at.
that's what I'm saying.
Hi, I'm Brad. Where are you calling from?
I'm currently calling from Irvine, California.
I am from the north of England.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
And wherever you are, welcome to Blond Radio. Hi, I'm Brad. I live on the west coast of Canada. I own too many hats, and I love a good late night conversation. And welcome to Blond Radio, where every week I book calls with strangers from around the world. Today we'll talk to Liam, a content creator who's honing his skills, Lucas, who's found new confidence on TikTok, and April, who found the motivation to improve herself in an unconventional way. But first, this week at Blond Radio on Instagram, I gave you a prompt. How do you stay true to yourself? Here's what you had to say.
Hi, I'm Annie. I'm calling from Florida, and how I stay true to myself is keeping in touch with my past, present, and future. When I think about the past a lot, I'm alone, typically in my bed at night, but I like to really reflect on what I've done because that way I can carry myself better in the present and I can live in the moment, kind of satisfied with myself. When I think about the future, typically I'm usually sitting outside, looking around, just wondering what I could do next.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm calling from Caracas, Venezuela. I stay true to myself by practicing self-care. Not like pampering myself and shit. It's more like asking, how have I been feeling? How do I feel about this? How do I feel about that? Catching up with myself. I feel like we're constantly in touch with others that we kind of forget about ourselves sometimes.
Hey Brad, it's Sophia calling from upstate New York. I stay true to myself by expressing myself in so many ways, but the biggest way is probably how I look. I am a teenager, so I honestly feel like a different person every day, and I love that. I change my hair color all the time. I have a new Pinterest board up every day. I feel like I'm at a really cool place in life right now where I'm building up who I want to be and who I am and who I'm not. And right now I feel like there's no yourself to stay true to, but I really enjoy figuring out who that's gonna be.
Hi, I'm Boris. I'm calling from Moscow, Russia, and I stay true to myself by asking myself, is this me, every now and then? For some reason, it helps me realize if I'm trying to be someone else that I am entirely not.
Hi, my name is Jake. I'm from Leicester, England. I stay true to myself by reflecting on whether I felt as if I've acted in any different situation, and if I have, then I know that I haven't been true to myself because I shouldn't have to act. I should just have to be myself.
Thanks to everyone for submitting their responses, and we'll hear more answers throughout today's show. Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Doing good. Yourself?
Good. I'm currently nestled behind a big piece of paper at my work's podcast set that we got because it was the best place with audio.
What? What kind of work are you working at that you have a podcast set?
We do a lot of production. We're like a heavy marketing company. We have just a general studio, and my boss, he's a big Star Wars guy, and he has his own podcast, and so we use it for production.
That's amazing. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Liam, great to meet you. And then where are you calling from?
I am currently calling from Irvine, California.
Is that home base for you? Is that
No, I moved down here back in April for the job that I'm at currently. I used to live up in Oregon, a little bit outside Eugene, the outskirts of a hick town. Yeah, now I'm in the big city and whatnot.
Moving on up. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I guess off the bat, just sort of give me the elevator pitch on you, who you are, what you do, and what sort of got you to where you are today.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's where my big internet break came so far, is TikTok. Back in high school, senior year, 2019, just started doing it for fun. Like most people, they get the app as a joke. They get on, they start making stuff, and they realize it's actually pretty fun to just create, just push all your creative juices and ideas out onto it. And so I started making videos. One of them was people were doing cosplay, and I've always wanted to do cosplay videos. I had a cosplay from, I think, a year prior where I did the homemade Spider-Man suit, put it on, and people loved it. It blew up. It was, I think, 100,000 likes, and that was pretty big back then before TikTok was big. And then I started going with it and doing more cosplays, and people wanted me to do bigger ones. And I got a whole new spider suit, and I did Dear Evan Hansen at one point. But the one that really set me off is I did Han Solo. I got a group chat of a bunch of cosplayers, and we're like, hey, we know the movie's going to blow up, and like, we love Star Wars and stuff. And so let's do it. And then people were like picking out, they're like, hey, who wants to do this? And I was like, it was between Luke and Han. And I was about to choose Luke, but the only reason I didn't is because he's kind of just wearing like a karate outfit.
Yeah, 24/7.
He's not like, he's wearing these linens. And it's like, you know what? I'll do Han because like I get a blaster at least. Like that's sick. People were loving it. My other videos were working with my other friends, and we were duetting each other, just kind of connecting through the community through duets. Then it caught the attention of people at Lucasfilms in San Francisco. So I think marketing director at Disney hit up our friend Young Soul, Eric, and he does Kylo. And they hit him up and was like, hey, I want to get a bunch of cosplayers to Lucasfilms to do one last big marketing push to The Rise of Skywalker. 2 days later, I was down in San Francisco on a round trip ticket. I think it was literally 12 hours. I was down just out. When I was down there, they showed us around, and we got a VIP tour of the Lucasfilm headquarters. Like, it's a prime location. It's literally next to the shore where Alcatraz is at.
Oh, shoot.
And you can see the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah. We got there, and everyone came in. And one of the people who came in was my now coworker, Michael. He's Rex and Around, at Rex and Around. He does a bunch of Star Wars stuff. So this was like right in his field. He came in, we did the tour and stuff, and him and I were kind of hanging out in the back, and he was asking me a bunch of questions like of who I was, what I want to do in life. And at the time, I was working part-time at Subway, part-time at college, but I didn't know what I wanted to do at all. I was just kind of going with the flow, figuring my way through life. But after the Disney thing, and Michael messages me and says, hey man, would you like to come down to Irvine and work for me full time and make videos? And I was like,
damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like a once in a lifetime opportunity that I could not turn away. So March 30th, I drove down, and that's right when quarantine really started kicking in. So moved down to SoCal in the middle of the pandemic, and I've been here ever since, just making TikToks at the work and making custom. Right now I'm working on some custom bikes. I've met a few celebrities, which is pretty cool. Like life is pretty great right now. Even with the whole pandemic, it's like my work is pretty damn cool.
Exactly. That sounds amazing, man. That's an awesome trajectory. And so was there making videos prior to TikTok? Was that sort of outlet of creativity something that you've been engaged with prior?
Absolutely, yeah. I've been a kid on the internet for pretty much my entire life. Like I grew up on video games, and then once I got old enough, like I got into the computer and YouTube. I remember I introduced like the kids in my school to Fred. I don't know if you remember that guy.
No.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this guy's so funny. And I showed it to my friends, and then like it just spread. I always watched YouTube. I thought they were great. When Let's Plays came out, I started doing Let's Plays. When Vines came out, I made Vines. I deleted the Vines now and the YouTube channels.
Right.
Part of me is like, I should have kept them for like when I can like reflect back when I'm older, but honestly, I cringe way too much of them. But nothing ever really worked until TikTok came through, and it felt like my middle school self was finally getting justice for like what I wanted. Because back then I was like, yeah, man, I want to be a Viner. Like that's so cool. All the stuff they're making. Now it's my time to shine. It's how I felt,
That's awesome. And to a certain extent, it takes a lot of failing to sort of figure out what you're gonna do.
Absolutely.
And of course, with TikTok, the hugest thing is the algorithm. And I mean, to this day, I still have no idea how to read it. I was curious, maybe from your perspective, what's the balance between making videos that you're maybe a bit more passionate about versus ones that you feel might play into the algorithm better?
Yeah, a lot of things that I saw, like early TikTok, and a lot of creators, when I started connecting with them, they started talking about was that you feel like you put all your time and effort into one video, and you think it's going to blow up and it's going to be great and everyone's going to love it, and then it doesn't. And then one video that you just think of a dumb idea, do it, and it takes you like half a second, literally a minute to make, put the caption and put it out, and then that one blows up. You can spend so much time and effort into one thing, but honestly, like with TikTok, it depends on who's going to see it. And how long it's going to take them. Because that's the thing with the algorithm. It's like everyone's trying to figure it out all the time. You can use certain hashtags to do this, and you can hit certain likes or tell people to share, things like that. But in the end, it's like, I feel like in the end, it's the engagement. It's like, how long can you keep people's attention? It's like the short form, There's always a balance as well of how long can you keep them engaged and how well can you keep them engaged? Because there's some people who make videos who are super long, like you. Like I've seen your, like not super long, but I've seen your videos and they're like a decent amount of time sometimes because you're talking with the person and they have like a pretty interesting subject, but you're able to keep them engaged, one, with the audio, and two, you have this like really calming nature pictures and you have really cool like letterings and fonts that go across the screen, and it's like just aesthetically pleasing, you know?
Totally. Yeah, that's because I'm almost always pushing the minute mark. I'm like, please stick around to the end. I promise it's worth it. But it's so hard when a lot of the content that pops up is like usually under 20 seconds.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I feel that too. It's like a lot of my videos get better towards the end. Like there's a good buildup. Sometimes it's not the best buildup, but then at the end, I feel like it's a good payoff. But then I lose people's attention out of nowhere, you know? They're like, oh, this guy's not getting anywhere. But it's like, you just missed the joke. Like it was right there.
Can't win them all, but we're trying out here for real.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about the grind.
And I guess you kind of already answered this question. Maybe moving forward, it'll be different. Where do you see yourself with making videos and production and media, either in the broad future or like 5 years from now?
Yeah, that's the thing is like, part of me is like, oh, I don't know. You never know. But I think my brain like doesn't want to think that far ahead. I'm like scared of the future. Like I'm only 19 and I'm down here in California working for a company, getting hired as a TikToker. Like technically I'm a professional TikToker. I get paid to make videos that are a certain amount of time. Like I made 3 videos today. One of them was like, I think it was a 9-second audio. Like, but so at the moment, I'm just kind of focusing on what I'm doing now and seeing what skills I can get. Because I dropped out of college to get down here. I didn't continue my college education, at least for now. And so I'm kind of trying to use this job and the people around me as my teachers, you know, getting all the information I can. I've gotten a lot better at Photoshop since I've gone down here because I have to make some pictures. I have to edit special effects, audio adjustments. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like I'm going to use the skills that I got now to make my way through life, and get more until another opportunity arises. I'm just cruising. I might still stay down here in California for a bit, but the dream is like one day, if I ever quote, make it big, you know, get enough to live comfortably somewhere else. I definitely want to head back up to the Northwest. I just grew up there and the vibes, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I guess the dream is like, do what I want, be up there, but still be creating.
And I think, even you spoke to, because that's an answer right there. You said you want to just continue to improve your skills. And that's, your point. That's an awesome mentality to have. Just keep moving forward and keep the dream alive. Yeah,
exactly. I want to keep improving on what I got and hoping that will lead to more opportunities, like a snowball effect, you know?
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Liam, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with me.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. In closing, I was wondering, because it can be often so tricky, and I've been trying to keep myself grounded with the smallest amount of clout that I've gained from this platform. But staying true to yourself, staying true to your ideals, what advice could you give to people who want to stay, making sure they don't stray off their own path too far?
Kind of what you said, like just staying true to yourself. I've definitely found myself leaning towards the numbers and the views and the likes and the clicks. But even if it flops, make the content that you want. Don't make something that just will get the likes and the clicks, you know. Make something that expresses who you are, and kind of how I see it, make your content like you're putting yourself on the internet, like represent yourself. But if you bend towards kind of the Instagram-y way of just like clicking for the numbers and the views, you kind of lose yourself in that. But the more you stay true to yourself of not caring about the numbers and the clicks, honestly, the better the content.
And it definitely shows. Like some of the people I look up to, other creators, are the ones that, you know, really you can feel their genuineness coming through in their work. It's not, you don't
Absolutely.
Feel like it's, of course, you know, there's personas and there's characters, but it's not a falsehood so much. Yeah,
for real. It's nice seeing people like that who are enjoying what they're doing, being real, not being fake. Yeah,
absolutely. Definitely want to try and leave something that people remember, you know, once the platform's gone or whatever. So, and it sounds like you're on that path, Liam, which is so exciting to hear.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you again for sharing your words and your story.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for having me on. As soon as I saw this on the For You page, I was like, man, I want to jump on that. That seems great.
Totally.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you, man.
Ciao.
Hi, my name's Desi. I'm calling from Sydney, Australia, and I stay true to myself by... Crap, how do I stay true to myself? I don't even know, bro. Oh my god. I think just like doing my own thing, like doing all my hobbies and that. I also like hang out with my friends and like get their perspective on like what's changed of me and like how I've evolved.
Hey Brad, I'm Jillian and I'm calling from Montreal, Canada. I stayed true to myself by being honest and giving my sincere opinion about something. It's hard these days to have different opinions, but I feel like sometimes it can be important to say what's right and speak out when something's wrong. Thanks, bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Lucas, great to meet you.
Great to meet you too. I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, I don't know when we started being, but you're like one of my first mutuals from way, way back.
Yeah, it was one with the cinema, an early one.
Yeah, yep. Like,
that was the first one I saw and I was like, I like this.
Yeah, thank you. That was like one of my first ones to kind of blow up. And I was like, oh shit, okay, we're gonna make something of this. Cool. Lucas, just off the bat, I guess give me the pitch on, who you are, what you do, and what got you to where you are today.
Well, as you know, my name's Lucas. I am from the north of England. A weird kind of thing is I've never been huge on social media. I only really got Instagram when I was 17. I'm 20 now. So kind of being where I'm at right now is very alien, but also at the same time, I grew up on YouTubers, on like YouTube in general. There's that part of me that was always like, oh, imagine, being like that, having an audience. And now having an audience, it's like, right, okay. Again, it's such an amazing thing to have as well because you get a lot of support.
Yeah, totally. Were you making videos before TikTok?
I've had a couple of failed Minecraft YouTube channels that have been long since deleted, but other than that, not really.
Would your friends like describe you as someone who's creatively inclined, or was this sort of exploration new for you?
Oh, very new. I almost never filmed myself. I took pictures of myself, so this is a very, very new venture for me.
That's kind of surprising because like your content is like straight up, it's you. It's a lot of your face, your ideas, your voice.
Yeah, but it's I just do enjoy putting content out, I guess, as well. So it's an out. That's not the word. Is it a creative outlook? Is that the word?
Yeah. Outlet, I think maybe.
Outlet. Sorry. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of catharsis as well with
for sure.
Daily life. You can kind of focus on something else for a while.
Yeah, I bet that helps. Now I've got to ask, what inspired all of the Kermit-related content? More so in the beginnings of your account, but he still makes an appearance every now and then.
Yes. Oh yeah. No. I almost created a TikTok specifically for Kermit. Originally, I was going to cut him open and use him as a puppet because the joke started with I used to do a Kermit impression, and it was kind of a joke as like, see if I can find a puppet. It took me ages to find one like him as well because none of them were good quality enough. They were all really cheap, but I found Kermit and it just led me to where I am today, I guess, especially the one Kermit video. The fact that is my magnum opus as well is something else.
Totally. And that's totally so much on TikTok. Like you never know what the algorithm is going to pick up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was on a live as I just uploaded that video. And so, I had like 5-6 people in, and then it jumped to 20. I was like, oh, nice. And then it jumped to 50. And I was like, right, what's going on? And then it jumped to like 200.
Wow.
And it was like, right, this is, because I like to read pretty much every single message in my chat as well. I like everybody to feel included. And chat was just going at lightning speed. I was getting overwhelmed. But that was a very surreal experience as well, watching it blow up as well.
It's very much, I've heard other creators refer to it as like, it comes in waves, like, especially on TikTok, it's not crazy consistent, but once you tap into something, it'll just hit you so hard.
Yes, it is. And I don't feel like you make good content when you don't want to make it. When you do it, like if you feel like you have to, I don't think you're going to make good content. So it's do it when you want to do it.
Totally. And people will notice that. I think people will notice if it's genuine or not, or if you're just like trying too hard.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you spoke to this a little bit, but like about having a platform, has that changed your perspective at all now that there's like 160,000 people that follow you?
Yeah, I've met so many amazing people through that as well, just in general. I do believe it's that whole thing has completely changed my life. It's given me a lot of confidence as well. I was so very, very not confident. And then starting TikTok was, I was because I just started university and it was that winter, you know, it was first time moving away from home. It was very new, very foreign. I was a little shelled in, and then TikTok kind of coming into thing. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's give it a try. I got positive feedback and stuff, and it was like, okay. So yeah, it's helped a lot with self-confidence, which is weird because you'd think TikTok would be the complete opposite.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're gonna find that, you know, in every social media, it's always gonna be a space to compare yourself to others, unfortunately. But that's interesting to hear that prior to it, you maybe weren't as confident because, you know, off a baseline assumption, I look at big accounts and I just assume if this person has a big account, they must be pretty extroverted, they must be pretty confident.
I don't really know why or kind of how, but I'm still not a massive extrovert. I am quite an introvert. I love being by myself, you know, just having me time. I can do what I want with no interruptions. But I do also love being with friends, you know, whatnot. But it's a weird topic to bring up. Do you know the personality quiz thing?
Yeah. We were just talking about it on my Discord server. Yeah.
All right, yeah. I got ENFP-T, which it shocked all my friends as well because of the fact that I got extroverted instead of introverted. So maybe, but it was like I think for the introverted extroverted, I got 49% introverted, 51% extroverted.
See, there you go.
So it was yeah, by a hair's width, yeah.
And that's something I've also discovered with, you know, speaking to so many people is like the online versus offline persona. Do you feel like there's a separation for you, or do you feel like you're consistent throughout?
I've been asked this sort of, I think I got asked this in a live, but not quite in this context. It was, I like to think I'm kind of what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
As much as creating personas go, sometimes I think some people lose themselves in personas as well. You know, they create a character and they just get a bit into it, stay as that character. For me, I think being completely yourself is the best thing to do. There might be some aspects of yourself you might not want to show, but I just think being yourself, being straightforward is the best way to go for sort of personality wise, because that means people will like you for your personality, not something you just put on.
That's so true. I love that. Lucas, I want to thank you again for taking time out of your day to speak with me. But in closing, I was wondering, how do you stay true to yourself? You know, you're just speaking to it a little bit, you know, platform big or small, online or offline. It can be tricky to stay true to you and to not take outside perspectives into account, like people projecting onto you. What advice would you give to someone who's struggling to, you know, stay grounded in who they are?
Friends and who you're surrounded with, I think, is the most important, because if I do something kind of, you know, cringy or something on TikTok, I'll hear about it from my friends. They'll, you know, we'll joke about it. I've said to them as well, if I ever start developing an ego, please tell me and stop me, because that's I don't want to deviate from who I was when I started. And obviously people change, but, you know, I don't want my friends to be like, oh, he's changed because of that. So I think them being there, and obviously, I guess it's kind of making fun of me sometimes. That does very much keep me grounded. I think it's who you're surrounded with, your friends. That is the best way to stay grounded.
I like that. And yeah, it's so much of the time, it's the people that you surround yourself with. It's like surrounding yourself with mirrors, because these people know you sometimes better than you know yourself. And based off their reactions to what you do as you're speaking to, you're going to get a read one way or another of, you know, who you are.
Oh, completely, yeah. It's there was a quote that I saw. Nope, I cannot remember. Oh, nope.
All good.
It was something about you being a reflection of your friends, and like, yeah, your friends being a reflection of you. But no, I cannot remember that. I do apologize.
Perfect. Lucas, thank you again for, you know, telling me about you and your story and everything that you've gone through.
Thank you for having me. I've been very much looking forward to this. It's been very good. Thank you.
Of course. Cool. Well, I do wish you a lovely rest of your evening. And of course, we'll be in touch.
Yes. I hope you have a good evening as well.
Awesome. I'll talk to you later.
Nice one. Cheers. See ya.
Ciao.
Hi, my name is Mia. I'm calling from Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico. I stay true to myself by taking a long, late night drive, blasting my favorite music, and reminding myself why I'm still here.
Hey Brad, I'm Dylan. I'm calling from Syracuse, New York. I stay true to myself by kind of looking at myself through an outside perspective and thinking, would I want to be friends with this person? And if the answer is no, then I have some stuff to work on.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Brad. It's a pleasure.
You know, it's kind of funny, like hearing the radio versus hearing, like talking to you now, because it's almost like a fictitious person, but actually brought to life talking to me right now.
That is interesting. I've got that recently, and it's very surreal to
Yeah, it's
hear
like
that.
mildly.
Awesome. Perfect. April, where are you calling from?
I am calling from Charlotte, North Carolina, here in the United States.
Hell yeah. I guess just off the bat, just give me like the pitch on you. Who are you? What do you do? And what got you to where you are today?
Oh gosh, what a loaded question. My name's April. I am originally from Florida. I just moved to Charlotte not too long ago.
Mhm.
I have 2 jobs. I have a career in finance, and then my second job is as a barista at a coffee shop that you could probably guess where it is. I work full time, my main career job, and then part time my other job. My 14-year-old sister lives here with me.
Mhm.
We kind of just take it day by day together. We do everything pretty much we can. She moved in with me this summer, so it's just the 2 of us here.
That's awesome. And maybe slightly unconventional. That's cool to hear. And I'm glad you guys are making it work.
Yeah, it's interesting because I consider myself to be like a zillennial because I was born in 96, so it's like right in the middle there.
Listen, we're the same age. I absolutely
Okay.
feel that. Gen Z is where it's at.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like living with her, and she's like true Gen Z. It's really eye opening because she fills me in on all the stuff I don't know about being Gen Z and keeps me young.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And going through your feeds and stuff, a word I'd use is just vibrant. Would the people in your life, your friends, your family, would they describe you as creatively inclined?
Definitely say so, but I also make an effort to surround myself with those kinds of people, right? Like I have my best friend is all the way from high school. We've known each other forever. And she's probably the most creative person that I spend my time with. And we both kind of like bounce off each other and inspire each other in different ways. And she actually just moved to Brooklyn, New York City, like Friday. And it's really like exciting because I'm happy for her, but like sad at the same time because now we're even further apart than when I moved up here from Florida.
Yeah, that's tricky. As you're speaking to, it's so important and cool to have like fellow creatives in your life. That's always inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I moved to Charlotte, the very first thing I wanted to do here was try to sniff out where the creative scene is because it's honestly like how you can meet some of the most just amazing people and a lot of things to do around town. But it's kind of funny. I don't know if you saw when you were going through my feed. I've had like a rough go of it since I moved here because my very, very first day when I was moving in, I got an accident and I broke my jaw and I broke my arm.
What?
And then like by the time I recovered, there was maybe 1 month before lockdown started for coronavirus. So it's like I haven't gotten a great chance to explore everything here, but you know, we're making it work.
There's always the future, as daunting as it seems. There will be something, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Tell me about, am I seeing this correctly? Is it called MegaCon?
Yeah, MegaCon is a big anime convention in Orlando, Florida. I went last year, unfortunately, because of everything, it was rescheduled this year. But with some of my best friends, I cosplayed as Ryuko. It's actually my first time in public cosplay.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah. I've always been a weeb. Like I grew up being a weeb and like I don't know if weeb is the right word, but like a big anime dork. But I feel like most people don't know that about me until like they get to know me a little better because I guess I don't outwardly project weebiness. But yeah, MegaCon is amazing. A ton of people. It's just super packed and you get to see all kinds of cosplays and food. And then I actually met an artist. He did a release of 100 different anime characters. They're all like monochromatic. So when you lay them all next to each other, each individual painting, it's like a color spectrum, like a rainbow. And he released them all separately so that there's 100 different people who now own a piece of this like overall piece. And I got my hands on Mob from Mob Psycho 100, which is my favorite anime.
Amazing.
I have a tattoo from it. I love it so much.
The dedication. And fellow weeb here, but also just like general anything nerd culture I've maybe dipped my toes in.
Good.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I just really like how like more accepting it feels like it's been, especially in recent years, and maybe even more so with coronavirus. I feel like anime, video games, and everything has just like completely exploded in the last like 5 to 10 years. And it's just so
Exactly.
awesome because you could pretty much talk about any of these things at a really high level, and somebody's going to know what you're talking about. It's not like as rare as it maybe used to be, and part of that can be attributed to all the different communities, like this anime community in particular, mostly being just super accepting of new people. Everyone's always ready to tell you about their favorite anime, and they're ready to give you like all the recs and all the best, top 10. So it's really cool that, yeah, you can just talk to anybody about anything and they'll kind of, be on board.
Oh, absolutely. Because even what you're speaking to 5-10 years ago, like I still remember even in high school, it was still like a thing to tease people about if they were big into anime.
I know.
But now it's like,
I used to read,
it's cool.
yeah, it is. I used to read in high school. I used to read Naruto Shippuden on release from Japan. Like the
Wow.
manga would release online every Thursday, and I would log in to read it. And I remember people being like, "That's so weird." But now, like you said, yeah, it's cool. Especially Naruto in particular. I feel like everybody like loves Naruto these days.
Exactly.
It's just really exciting to see.
Of course, there might be the tiniest amount of like resentment to people in the past that maybe did us wrong, but it's worth it for how many people are into it now, I feel like.
That's exactly right. Like, especially at first when it first started happening, I kind of felt the same way. I was like, well, you used to make fun of me for that, and now you like it. Like, that's convenient. But then I realized, like, if anything, I should just be happier that people are getting to experience this thing and not have to go through the consequences of like being bullied for it or being made fun of. Like, they get to just experience it now and not have to worry about that kind of thing. So, like, that part of it, I'm really thankful for.
Exactly. So blessed to have it. And kind of maybe pivoting here, but maybe in a similar vein with like self and image, because I saw here about a year ago, you posted this progress picture. Just absolutely phenomenal. That's so amazing. Congratulations. But
thank you.
What led you to that decision to, in your own words, to work on yourself for you and no one else? What does that mean to you?
If I tell you, you gotta promise not to laugh.
I would never, I promise.
So it was my second time. Like, it's so dorky, I promise, but I'm so sorry. It was my second time watching Mob Psycho 100, the first season.
Mhm.
In episode 2, he's going through this dilemma in his life that I was really relating to at the time. He was like, everybody seems like they have like a path in life that they want, and everybody, seems to have goals in mind, but I don't really have anything. And he's like kind of dealing with this internal turmoil, and I was feeling exactly the same way. And then by the end of the episode, it's sort of like a setup joke, so spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it, but he joins the body improvement club to work on himself because he doesn't want to rely on his psychic abilities. He wants to kind of improve himself and take control of his life and the things that he can actually make a difference with for himself. I was like, wow, like it really is up to me to do this. Like no one else can do this for me. No one else can tell me how or show me how. Like I can get help from people, but at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to put in the work. I can only make these kinds of changes if I want to. So it started off a little mental for me, kind of like getting myself in the idea that, hey, like if you want to do something like this, like you have to do it. No one's going to do it for you. And then realizing that doing it ultimately was going to fix a lot of the problems that I had in terms of like self-image and being kind of like unhappy with my appearance and unhappy with my health, realizing that they kind of correlated, right? And if I could just work on my own mind, like get over any blocks I was putting in ahead of myself and just put in the work and do it, then I was able to do it. And, I had tried fad diets before. At the end of the day, I wasn't doing it from a place in my heart. I was just doing it to see a number on a scale or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once I finally made that mental jump to do it just because I wanted to, like I didn't even weigh myself or count calories or anything. I just put in the work and it happened. So I think it is really, really mental.
And that's so cool. That's so awesome that you found that.
Yeah, it was a long journey because it's, the physical part is only half of it. It really is a long way mentally too.
Preach.
And even though, it's been a year since then, I still, to this day, like I still have to have these mental battles with myself sometimes. Every now and then I'll get down and I just have to remind myself of the way I feel and what my goals in mind are. And things like coronavirus especially has everybody, I feel like, a little down in the dumps because we're more isolated than we've ever been. And the gyms were closed for a long time. So it's harder to stay motivated when you're just in this world of unhappiness. But at the end of the day, like when you're laying down for bed, or at least when I do, I think to myself as I'm falling asleep, what are the things that I really want and what can I do tomorrow to get myself a little bit closer to it?
That's beautiful. And that's and I didn't laugh, but I would wager to say a lot of people have been inspired by, if not anime, some sort of media or form to better themselves, which is the cool thing about art. And that's so cool that you found that in Mob Psycho.
I know. I feel like a lot of the time when I do go to the gym and I see the anime guys, they're always wearing Vegeta tanks. And I'm like, that's a good motivation too. If you want to get absolutely ripped, Vegeta's a good goal to go for.
Totally. We love to see it. That's special. Thank you for sharing. April, again, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day and speaking with me and sharing your words and your story. In closing, I was wondering, self-image and who you are and identity. How do you stay true to yourself? Because even going through changes, going through different life experiences, at your core, you're still you to a certain extent. How do you stay on that path? And what advice could you give to someone who's struggling to be who they are?
Really good question. And I actually was somebody who used to struggle with, who I was, because a lot of people, I feel like when they first see me, they have an idea in their head of what I'm supposed to be like. And then as they talk to me and they see like, oh, there's this nerdier interior, and they're like, whoa, and it kind of takes them back. And, I used to get that reaction from people and kind of like shrink and hide that part of me, or like kind of pull it back or reel it in. And then I realized after a while that doing stuff like that, changing yourself or even just muting yourself to make somebody else like you or even tolerate you is going to end up making you surrounded by people that you're not really happy to be around. Like, they don't not necessarily negative or anything, but they're just not people who inspire you or help you grow or help you learn more about yourself. And so when I kind of realized that, I looked around and I kind of decided that this wasn't really what I wanted. And, I wanted people I could talk to about the things that I'm interested in. And I wanted to be able to share parts of myself with people without having to worry about what they would say or think. And so, again, it is sort of a mental thing, right? Where you have to get through the awkwardness and truly be comfortable with just expressing the things that make you happy. It doesn't matter what it is. And, if some people kind of reel back or react negatively, then those probably just aren't your people. If you keep trying and you just keep being true and honest to yourself, you will find your people and you'll end up being so much happier that way.
Oh, that's so true. I love that so much. I was just last night speaking to someone about this topic kind of similarly. And it's this idea of like, home is where you can be yourself. And if you're conforming yourself in situations to make other people comfortable or change who you are, that's not a home for you. As you're saying, once you find your people and you're, unabashedly being yourself, that's just going to lead to so much thriving. And we love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right.
Totally.
And that goes into I don't remember what episode it was, the one recently about found families, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes your found family can just be so much closer to you than your blood, and that's one of the things I think is so great about being connected online, like how we are. It gives you so much more opportunity to stay in touch or to even meet a whole new found family.
So crazy. As the adage goes, like, we were born too late to discover the new world, born too early to discover the universe, but born just in time to discover the internet, which is a whole world to itself. So we love to see it. Awesome. April, thank you again so much. This is so lovely.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll see you in the Discord.
Absolutely. Please do. Yeah, I'll definitely be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Special thanks to Liam, Lucas, and April for making this episode possible, as well as everyone who submitted a response to the prompt. Intro music provided by Wayfie, that's Wayfie, and accompanying tracks by Lowboil, that's Loboil, who can both be found on all major streaming platforms. I'll see you soon, and thanks for tuning in to Blond Radio.